From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, December the 6th, 2017. We open with the much-anticipated announcement made today by U.S. President Donald Trump, where the president recognized Jerusalem as the capital of the State of Israel and said that he has directed the State Department to begin preparations for moving the American embassy to Jerusalem.
It is time to officially recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. This is nothing more or less than a recognition of reality. It is also the right thing to do. Jerusalem is not just the heart of three great religions, but it is now also the heart of one of the most successful democracies in the world. I am also directing the State Department to begin preparation to move the American embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. This will immediately begin the process of hiring architects, engineers, and planners so that a new embassy, when completed, will be a magnificent tribute to peace.
Trump also reassured the Arab world that he supported a two-state solution between Israel and the Palestinians and that his decision today did not impinge on that.
The United States remains deeply committed to helping facilitate a peace agreement that is acceptable to both sides. The United States would support a two-state solution if agreed to by both sides. In the meantime, I call on all parties to maintain the status quo at Jerusalem's holy sites, including the Temple Mount, also known as Haram al-Sharif. Above all, our greatest hope is for peace, the universal yearning in every human soul.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu released a message in gratitude for Trump's announcement. The Prime Minister said this is an historic day and an important step towards peace. And he echoed President Trump that there would in fact be no change to the status quo on the holy sites in Jerusalem, saying that Israel will always ensure freedom of worship for Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike. Ahead of the announcement this afternoon, the Palestinian Authority said it would lodge a complaint at the United Nations against the announcement and called for nonviolent protest of Trump's decision. The Arab League said it would hold an emergency meeting on Saturday calling the recognition of Jerusalem an unjustified provocation. Terror group Hamas called for a day of rage this Friday, and demonstrations broke out in Gaza and other areas ahead of the announcement today, while Arab leaders continue to warn over dangerous repercussions. And IDF Chief of Staff Gadi Eisenkot met with top military officers in the West Bank today to prepare for any violence in the wake of the announcement. Yesterday, the U.S. State Department ordered government employees to avoid Jerusalem's Old City and the West Bank until further notice, also in anticipation of possible violence and protest. Meanwhile, Mayor of Jerusalem Nir Barkat said the walls of Jerusalem's Old City would be lit up with the colors of the American flag as a, quote, token of appreciation to the U.S. president. Barkat, ahead of the announcement today, said the historic declaration sends a clear message to the entire world that the U.S. stands with the Jewish people, the State of Israel, and Jerusalem. And Jewish groups here in the U.S. expressed their thoughts ahead of the announcement this morning. Pro-Israel lobby AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, wrote on social media, "It is our long-held position that undivided Jerusalem is the historic, current, and future capital of Israel." Leaders of the Simon Wiesenthal Center, Rabbis Marvin Heyer and Abraham Cooper, said the declaration by the president rights a historic wrong. Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations CEO Malcolm Hoenlein said in an address earlier today at the launching of the Lobby for the Protection of the Mount of Olives in the Knesset, when President Trump visited the Western Wall and made a declaration recognizing Jerusalem as holy to the Jews after the denunciation of UNESCO, There was not even one warm-up, not one demonstration, because when you do the right thing, you do not have to ask questions, you just do it. And in an opinion piece in the Times of Israel today, JBS President Mark Golub called the president's decision courageous, saying that U.S. policy should not be based on placating terrorist violence. Golub wrote, by refusing to recognize Israel's sovereign right to determine its capital city, the United States and other Western nations embolden Palestinian extremists who believe the U.S. and the West actually support their claims that Israel is illegitimate, adding that failure to recognize Israel's capital is an explicit challenge to the integrity of the Jewish state, thereby making a peace agreement more difficult to achieve and implement. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Wednesday, December the 6th at 9, Mark Golub sits down with Editor-in-Chief and CEO of the Algemeiner, David Efun, on L'chaim. At 10:30, political activist Jeremy Hymans talks about social causes and technology. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, it's Thinking Out Loud with Micah Halpern. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, December the 6th, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader.